Tough luck. There we go. We're live.
Keep hitting this button.
Oh, that's not the right one. Probably the other one.
I mean the right one. There's only one.
Try it again.
Oh, there we go. That one says live.
Yeah, the other one, because I was using the other phone at first, and then I realized that I can't plug my freaking thing into it. So anyway, we're live now.
All right.
We're live now.
I need to sign into YouTube with me rather than
Let's advertise QT.
VTEC Academy.
There we go. I'm not wearing my hat.
You're not? Why not?
Well,
You want to show people your
I actually have hair.
long locks?
I actually have hair. I mean, people may not.
Not everybody does.
Right.
At our age.
I mean, it's so funny. I watch golf. I haven't watched it lately, but watching golf all the time. And these guys are walking around. All of a sudden, they take off their hat and they're bald as a cue ball. It's like, what? Because you can't tell because they're wearing a hat.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So,
That's very true.
Can you guys read that chat on the side? Can you guys read the size of that?
It says,
No, you
what's
don't
up, Team Hasport?
what's up, Team Hasport?
I was just reading if I was wondering if you guys could read it because it's too small for me to read.
It's pretty small. Yeah.
That chat on the side. Can you guys
Oops,
read
yeah,
the
turn it
size
down.
of that? It says.
Turn off. All right.
Let's see what I can.
No buzz balls today. No, we're drinking
Buzz-
beer.
Buzzball.
Drinking beer.
It's a buzzball.
Oh, buzz ball is an alcoholic beverage.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever had one on the live chat. I think Aaron has, but I don't think I have.
Oh. Oh.
There we go.
Well, what's that? Oh,
Throw dance on one.
The chat window.
I see.
So if you had like
So talk to us, guys. What's up? Tell us what you've been up to these days. Well, actually, Brian, tell me what you've been up to.
I'm working on the fit. The fit is about 95% ready to
Fire up.
fire up.
Fire up. Nice.
I ran into a couple issues last week. You can see my arms are kind of all
Chewed up.
chewed up. I had to change the wiring harness.
I told you that wasn't easy.
I know. But I didn't want to drop the engine,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, after learning that the JDI conversion, their
Conversion harness.
Conversion
Their
harness
adapter
thing.
harness.
yeah, they prefer to have an untouched harness, engine harness.
Because they have the correct
yes,
corresponding
all,
plug.
all those things, you know, when you built that original harness, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it ran and everything. So
Yes, it did.
yeah,
But it was.
whatever.
But I modified it to make it run.
Yeah, right. And so I had to change the harness. I put all that back on, and yeah. So it then I had the next thing was
First generation fit.
first, yeah, GD fit.
With an L15 B7 swap.
Yeah. So then I had to create a whole new intake system for the from there's no air box.
Mhm.
When Honda had it, they put an air box on it,
Right.
and to get it certified in California, car.
Well, they wanted it. They were trying to solve an error we had, but that wasn't really the reason that there was a problem.
Right. They did. Yes. They were trying to eliminate
Yeah.
stuff, put it back to stock form. So I don't need any of that. So I had to redo the whole intake system again, and build the tubes, and we put the PRL high flow intake on there, and had to modify that and get it welded and all sorts of things. So it's.
I'm going to answer a question here.
Oh,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
So somebody's got an H23, they're putting an H22, and they want to know what ECU. I mean, if you want tuning, the only choice right now is a P28 or an aftermarket standalone ECU. The P28, though, is going to have one little problem. I believe that the heater wire and the EGR wire, they're swapped on the P28 as compared to what comes on the H22. So you might have to make a slight wiring change. You want to take a look at the wiring diagram for the H22 engine and harness, and take a look at the wiring, for your H22 car, and you want to look at the wiring diagram for the P28. I think you might find that the heater O2 wire might be in the wrong place, so check that out.
Oh.
But otherwise, P28 works well. So
Yeah,
obscure details.
right.
But
So anyway, the fits the last few days have been just new hoses. Got to have new hoses. I had to build all new radiator hoses and things.
you went to a much bigger radiator.
Yeah, the radiator is twice as big as the original.
Right.
It's going to be 3 gallons
Oh, wow.
of coolant. That's what this thing will take. And I built braided hose for it, cloth braided. Although there's a steel core, hoses for it. So I had to get those made and put on, and AN fittings all around. So it was a lot of stuff to be done, but it's almost done.
Hey, Carter, I got a question for you. This guy says, I'm hating the lead times on EF K-swap parts. We're missing the race this weekend, waiting on axles. Do we have K-swap axles for EF?
In stock?
They're the same as EGK, right?
Yes. I don't know how many we have in stock currently. We shipped a bunch this week.
We have a bunch of orders, a ton of orders.
Yeah.
We need to just make another, we're making them like 100 at a time, right?
Yeah, and we're selling them about that too.
Oh, really? Wow.
Axle-
Well, maybe we should up it.
Axles?
Axles, yeah.
Wow. Don't they take a long time to make?
No, not really. I mean, they do in the sense that we have to machine them, then we have to send them to heat treat,
Yeah.
then we have to assemble them.
Then we had to sandblast them.
Sandblast them, paint
Well,
them.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, they're labor intensive.
The process is tedious for us.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sounds like you might need.
So, I mean, short term, if you can get a good set of the base RSX axles and just swap the inner joints on them, you can use those. And I would get try to find OE ones if you can.
Yeah, the aftermarket ones will come right out for. Oh,
Yeah.
you said EF. Sorry, EF. Sorry, I was thinking of a different chassis.
Yeah.
It's a little
On the
bit
EF
narrower.
chassis.
It's a little bit narrower.
Yeah, on the EF chassis. Do base RSX.
So it didn't fit.
You do have to knock off the dust ring and the dust, and there's like a spacer inside the hub.
Yep.
Got to knock those off. But yeah, you should be able to use those.
But if you reach out to us, at Hasport, we can always let you know where they are in the line, what it's looking like, and see what we can do for you.
Yeah, we're trying to get those things as fast as we can.
And
We've got we
if you got a race, we can.
yeah
let us know.
yeah, exactly. We brought them back online a while ago, but they seem to be selling like crazy. So yeah,
Sounds like you need to add a production
Yeah.
line.
he said they didn't fit. Did you switch the inner joints? Because if you switch the inner joints, they should fit. So anyway, yeah, if you don't switch the inner joints, one of them is too long, I believe. So all right, I rattle canned my Civic. Yeah, it had horrible paint anyway. I like how it looks. Paint matched the engine bay, all white. Very good. Same Civic I drove from Alaska to Georgia, K20Z3 on K-Pro. Nice.
Remember him telling us about that?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, rattle can paint, it's come so far in terms of its quality and how it lays down over the last.
If you could do service
20 years.
it look really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're careful with it and you're overlapping and not trying to do too heavy a coat, it'll lay down pretty nice.
Yeah, I definitely am not patient with Ralph.
Any
Oh, I know.
either one of the J-Swap TSXs? Any new updates with either one of the J-Swap TSXs? Well, one of them, we took the J back out of it again. And that one's just sitting there doing nothing right at the moment. I'm probably going to put another.
That the one,
I haven't decided what engine I'm going to put in that
that
one.
the one sitting in front of the bay?
The TSX?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, that's his. And that was
That's
that's a manual conversion. We did an auto to manual conversion, which we need to finish. And the other J-Swap one is a race car. It's got a bad fuel pump. I just haven't gotten around to put a new one in there.
I thought I had a bent valve or something.
Wow.
I thought that engine was hurt.
That's
Maybe
crazy.
I'm mistaken. Oh, all right.
My CRV took a dump. 97B series, crank but no start. Any issues? Any ideas? Well, the
Check
three
the
things it
vehicle.
needs:
Spark.
fuel, and timing. So determine which one's not there.
Not working. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then go from there.
and go from there. Yeah.
I'm voting distributor.
I mean, that's always a solid one.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I would.
Basically,
That's where I would start.
Basically, turn it on. Did you hear the fuel pump turn on? Yes. You turn it over. Good. Doesn't start. Then you pull a plug, see if it's damp, which means it's not sparking. If it's not damp, then there's a problem with the injectors, or or the computer or something.
If they're damp,
And then you can also check for spark. Basically, you pull the plug out, lay it on top of the engine with it inside the spark plug wire,
right?
and have it grounded, and have somebody look at it to see if it's actually a nice bright spark.
Should be bright blue.
Yeah, nice bright spark. If there's a nice bright spark, you've got spark. And at that point too, with the thing out, you might actually see a little bit of fuel mist pump out
Come out
of the hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but likely that one of those isn't happening.
Oh, you replaced the fuel pump, but haven't checked it. Haven't cleaned injectors. Check the spark.
I replaced the fuel pump.
Yeah. Check.
Did you replace it because it wasn't working? That's my question.
Oh, yeah.
And now is it working? Yeah.
Many different possibilities.
Yeah. Those are the three.
Spark fuel timing.
From our couch, that's what we can diagnose.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, from our couch. And the timing thing, let's say for instance, your car's got a lot of miles on it and the belt broke and you don't even realize it,
Yeah.
that would be a problem as well. That would be the timing issue.
He says something their battery keeps buying. I can't read that.
Oh, I think dying is what it means.
Dying as well.
Oh.
Oh, then you just have.
Yeah, it sounds like an electrical problem.
Electrical problem. Yeah.
So yeah, find out where that is. I don't know if you're familiar with how to find that out, but basically there are testers that tell whether or not you have current flowing between the positive and the negative of the positive terminal and the battery. You basically disconnect them, put this in line. It'll tell you if current's flowing, and then you just start unplugging fuses until you find out which one is the culprit, and then you look for that.
Yeah, drawing current.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Do you guys sell axles for drag racing?
Our axles aren't really made for drag racing, and that has to do with the outer joints. The outer joints, unfortunately, are not strong enough for drag racing. We do sell some 36 millimeter outer joints that you can be, if you have the right hubs on your EG, EK, DC2, you can use those, and they will withstand a certain amount of abuse, but again, not really made for drag racing. So
They're not like a drive shaft shop or what's the other one?
Insane shafts.
Insane shafts. They're not like those. They're not. Yeah, those guys are. Those are designed for.
Well, the real company that does that is Drive Shaft Shop.
Drive shaft.
Yeah, they make the big giant ones.
Right.
I mean, I've talked to a couple of companies about building those for us, and we may still get to that, but no, right now. Name the best front-wheel drive car that's older than 2018.
Best front-wheel drive car that's older than 2018
and not an Integra Type R.
and not an Integra Type R.
CTR.
Best front.
Civic Type R?
No, they didn't come. No.
Oh, that's better.
Well,
yeah,
the FK8 came out in 2017, just for the record.
yeah. Let's call it 2018, so that's out of the.
Front-wheel drive.
I mean, I think it was a model year 2018.
I know. Yeah. Best favorite or best for what?
Well,
Best front-wheel drive.
He just says best.
Well,
I mean, we're going to just talk about Hondas here, so not other
Not
vehicles.
Renaults or something else.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, it's like, unless it was a specially built car for homologation and some racing series.
2018.
And one of my favorites is the TSX.
Yeah.
One of my other favorites is the TL. I think the TL is the most slept upon track day car you could actually have. Those things are fast as can be.
TL
with 6-speed
The
manual
6-speed
transmission.
manual, yeah.
Crazy fast.
I
Handle well.
First of all, the first thing we do is eliminate anything that has strut front suspension. That can all.
08 Civic, no 08 Civic, no 84 CRX,
Right. Okay.
no 87 and early Civic.
Yeah.
Nope.
And no,
I mean, I think to be honest.
and no, yeah. So you're talking about 88 to 91, 92 to 90, 2 to 94 and 96 to 2000.
Oh, and also later Accord TSX and TLC.
And of course the TSX is
Yeah,
up
I think
until
the
later.
6x6
And TL.
Accords were slept on also.
Yeah. I mean, lightweight, tossable, CRX.
Yes,
My
CRX,
hands down
Yeah.
favorite.
CRX.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, we probably
Hands
still
down
settle
favorite.
at EF CRX.
Yeah. And EF hatches,
Yeah.
right, close second. But something that's readily available, I started building one. I need to finish it. Acura TL, put a 3.5 liter motor in it, limited slip differential, 6-speed manual transmission, put some decent suspension on it. You can put ginormous tires on it because of the huge wheel wells
On the TL.
on the
What
TL.
year?
2004 to 2008.
Oh, 4 to 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 7.8, maybe 6.78, 7.8. There was a Type S that came with a 3.5 liter. That was
Yeah,
pretty nice.
Those had the port engines, right? They were
Single port.
single port.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And drive by wire.
Yeah.
And you can tune the ECU and you can boost them. So yeah.
And they had leather. Right? They had leather too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not plus in Arizona.
That's not.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you have to remove that.
yeah.
That wasn't the leather wasn't a plus until you got to the
Put race seats in it.
in the RL.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's asking about the RD1.
Fixed for the RD1 CRVs.
All right, so
swap.
yeah, so not yet.
Oh.
I'm looking at two things right now. One of them is the lowering forks that are built by MPC. They have a different shape and they'll probably allow for more room. Now, of course, you may not want to lower your CRV, so the solution then would be to have top hat spacers to bring it back up to ride height or extended ones if you want to lift the car.
Why?
So
Why does it have to be lowered? Why use those forks?
Okay, because it's the shape of the fork.
Yeah.
It bows out where the axle normally would run in a B series.
Yeah.
And then it swoops back in. And where it swoops back in, the axle's touching.
Oh, okay.
So with the lowering forks, they don't swoop back in because that area where it swoops in, that's all basically not there.
Not there.
So it
Yeah.
so it brings the lump much more where the axle bar is sitting.
Okay.
So and then you can extend the top of the shock in order to keep your ride height. So that's one.
Okay.
The other thing I'm looking into is the possibility of building another set of engine mounts that would be dual height, that would work for EK as well as RD1, that you would wind up cutting into the stock subframe so it could move the engine back about an inch, which would also solve that problem. So that's an idea I've been toying with for about 6 years now. So that may wind up being one of them. So let's have to see. Yeah. So anyway, right now we're looking at the lowering, the shortened lowering forks. As a matter of fact, that information, Pete and I talked about this from Speed Academy. He ordered the parts, so he's going to do that on his car. We'll see how it works out.
People are.
And of course, there'll be a video.
People are talking about the best front wheel drive.
Oh yeah, are you guys? Yeah, what do you guys?
2000 Civic Si. That'd be a good.
Yeah, that's a great car.
Neon.
And it's beautiful.
Neon ACR. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dodge Neons.
You got the Neon. You've got the Mini Cooper. They're super popular.
But the ACR in particular.
I know the American Club Racer.
That was that.
Yeah.
They specifically built 2.4.
Yep.
You get 2.4 turbo. You can boost that thing to 400 horsepower.
I know they built it basically to try to beat Hondas in the production classes.
I think they are
in autocross and stuff like that.
Brothers raced those things.
Yeah.
I think that's who did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem, the chassis sucks on that, but the engine was amazing.
Yeah, the engine was great.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody just said I put EK forks and shocks on my EF, but no axles. Okay. People,
On your EF, that's good. Those are tall.
I've been getting calls from people lately saying that they're being told that they could use EK
Yeah.
spindles on EFs.
So let's talk about height of the spindles.
Right.
So DA, DC2, EK, EG. So EF is short. The DA is the same height essentially, but it actually widens the track slightly. Then you have EG, which is significantly taller. When you use those, the upper control arm gets a lot more angle to it, which means you get a lot more camber gain under compression because it's the arc of it swinging in.
Right.
Plus, it may, if it's lowered too much, it may bottom out.
Contacts
on the inside of the apron there.
Yep.
The other thing about that is,
and the EK and the EG are
the
basically
EKs are slightly shorter.
they're basically interchangeable though.
They are, because people will use EKs on their EG.
Right.
Because they're shorter and allows them to lower the car more effectively.
Or they use Integra.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I was going to say was when that upper control arm is angled like that, you get a lot more bump steer.
Right.
Because because as the knuckles go up, they come in pretty drastically, and because the tie rod aren't really made for that geometry, it'll actually tow the car in under compression.
Okay, right.
So which can affect your handling.
So you can correct that upper control arm angle with adjustable control arms to some degree.
Not much.
Not much.
It's still going to have a lot of camber gain.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I've been telling people have called me and they said, "Well,
but the EK is between an EF and an EG, so it's not quite as bad as putting EG DC2 ones on, but it's still not ideal.
Not ideal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can do it. You can do anything. You're just screwing up your geometry.
Right.
So it's not going to be the same. All right.
On that note, though, Brian does have EK shocks and springs on his shocks and front forks. Sorry, on his EF wagon.
Brian?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to raise it.
Because he wanted to raise it.
Raise it. Yeah. Right.
Because he wanted to fuck with suspension geometry.
Right. He did. He jacked the car up, so
there's tons of.
He didn't want the lower. See he didn't want the lower control arms to be so radically pointed down, so he used a slightly taller knuckle.
Right.
Yeah.
And he wanted to raise it too, so that was okay. Now he's on
it wasn't a horrible decision.
Yeah, he's on like what 35-inch tires or something.
He runs 35-inch tires.
Yeah.
No, he's on 29.
His geometry is not ideal, but then again,
29s
he's all sorts of jacked up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the same size tires as my CRV.
Oh, all right.
35s would be huge on. What's the best way to place the knock center on EP3? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's a reach to get in there, but
where is it? It's on the back side.
Yeah, I dropped the subframe down a little bit. I think you can. I've done one on the second gen CRV, which is basically the same thing.
The problem is the intake manifold curls so dramatically inward on the EP3.
He says it has a K24 swap out. I wonder what
he still probably has it. Well, depending on what manifold he's got on. If he's got
I thought you could get in there though with dropping the subframe and going in from the bottom.
I don't think you have to drop the subframe.
Is it on
I thought you had to get in between if you went from the bottom.
Is it on the front or the back?
No, it's underneath the intake manifold. It's right.
So it's on the front.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. Yeah, it's right over the water pump.
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
You just
so oftentimes the manifold interferes. So
take the intake manifold off. And
it takes more time, but it works.
You can get pretty quick at those though.
Oh man, I looked old when I was moving.
No, it's because it's been a long day.
What's
I know.
You looked old?
Yeah. I'm like, because I'm like all bent over this thing, stuff like that. So the knock sensor is, depending on which knock sensor you have, it's either 27 or 24 millimeters, I think. Most of them are 27. And
that's ours, Barry's being that.
Yeah, if it's on a K24, you probably had the original one off of there's two different types. You need to get the right side kind for the plug you have.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just go down to the salvage yard and either get them off a CRV or get them off of an Accord, and they're cheap that way, rather than $100 and some odd from Honda.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Let's see. Somebody up there was asking about.
Somebody asked about
something on the K20 swap DK. Right here.
I think the 11th gen Civic and the 10th gen Civic are essentially identical in their suspension geometry for that.
Right. There's no change.
Yeah, I
One
don't
just
think
looks
they
much
made
better
any
than
changes.
The other,
What just looks better?
much better.
Which one do you think looks better?
Tension.
Oh,
Yeah, not pumped on the idea of MPC drop forks. And it's got it. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. So I need to.
We just had the CRV on the lift yesterday.
Yeah. Well, my CRV, I wanted to do an automatic conversion in that. So maybe I'll try prototyping the mounts on that for the ones that you chop into the subframe. So, and I've always wanted to do that because I've always wanted to move the engine back a little bit just to make more room for the radiator and stuff.
Maybe the RD1 needs its own specific kit. And we can't go around that. If more anything, and we see if it works on EK.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it on my car and see how it works out.
Yep.
All right.
Right here.
All right. Hey guys, on a K20 EK swap, just installed a 72 millimeter throttle body and portage intake. TPS to set. What's proper steps to set idle? Unplug the ICV, set the idle screw. There should not be an idle screw on your 72 millimeter throttle body unless it's like aftermarket. If you have an aftermarket throttle body, then yes, unplug the ICV and set it for about 750 to 850, not 600 to 700. It'll be smoother if you do it up a little bit. And then the ICV should then, and then you in your ECU you tell it what you want that idle to be, which would be, let's say 800 RPM, and then the computer should take care of the duty cycle on the idle air control valve or the electronic control whatever it is, the idle air control valve. So, and I think it's an EACV on those electronic air control.
yeah, I don't remember.
So, or EICV, electronic idle control valve. I think that's what it is. All right. I'd like to see a reverse LSVTEC. Interesting. I mean,
Reverse.
I wonder how symmetric that is. Because, I mean, people have done it with the H22, and that requires a ton of fabrication on the block because there are ports and passages that flat aren't there.
Kind of reverse.
Huh?
A non-VTEC head on B16A block with cams.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
I see it. A reverse LSVTEC.
Not turning the head.
So you want a non-GSR.
He wants a non-VTEC head on his
Got it.
on his B16.
All right.
With,
I mean, if you're going to turbocharge it, that'd be absolutely fine.
but then why would you want? What would be the positive to having the lack of displacement at that point? Just so you can spin it faster.
You just put giant cams in it. Well, the B16 allows you to spin fast because the B16 block has a short stroke.
Yeah.
So you can get high RPM. You would just need to have the right cams.
So is that really necessary in turbo build at that point? Or are you kind of just making more of a headache than it's actually worth to do anything?
Well, depends on what he's going to do with it.
I mean, I guess more anything is to be interesting and different.
So here's the deal about that.
Yeah.
When you have a VTEC head, even though you want to rev it very high, and you can rev it very high, the reason it revs higher than, let's say, a non-VTEC is because it's built for the two different lobes, and the one set of lobes works at higher RPM.
Yeah.
If you want to rev it to maximum RPM, you do a VTEC killer setup because you don't want all that extra valve train mass that's just working against your valve spring.
Just flopping around. It's
extra mass.
It's going along for the ride.
Well, it's not even that. It's that now your springs have to work harder.
Yeah,
So
right.
So now you have this much stronger spring you have to use in order to reach the levels you want to do. If you just simply did a VTEC killer setup, or just an LS head, which is basically a VTEC killer, you have a big enough cam made for it.
Right.
You should be able to rev it higher with less valve train mass.
Yeah, because on the VTEC head you've got the three
lobes. And plus you have the lost motion assembly, which is pushing against it as well.
All of that stuff. Yeah, if you want to get rid of all that, just
it eats horsepower.
Yeah, that is a straight rever. It just keeps it from revving too.
Yeah.
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 So
yeah. So, I mean, there's an advantage to it. The disadvantage, of course, it won't idle.
Yeah, right.
You have to turn up the
Yeah.
idle to 2,000
lump,
RPM.
lump to lump to lump to lump to
Yeah.
lump. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
If it's a race car, though, that's no problem.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It doesn't need the idle.
Well, again, yeah. If he's looking for high RPM
Yeah.
running, that's
Yeah.
the way to do it.
Well, haven't the blocks really come down in price because everybody just wants the heads as usual? So you can actually buy B16 blocks for fairly cheap.
Oh, really?
I assume that's what I've heard.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
because
looked-
everybody wants the head. The heads have all the value.
I haven't
Yeah.
Googled the price of a B series
I
product
probably
in
have.
15 years, so I'm not sure what.
I probably have 6 B16 blocks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
And you just
but no head. But heads only have
one or two or oh.
maybe 2, maybe 3.
Oh.
Clayton's trying to get us to go pick up his sedan.
What now?
He's trying to get me to drive up there and pick up his sedan
Drive up where?
to Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah, and pick up the
Oh.
About to post up for sale.
the right hand drive EF sedan. They got,
Oh.
total-
Hurricaned or tornadoed?
Got hurricaned.
Oh,
tornadoed.
tornadoed. Oh.
All right. Best header for K24 swap, please.
he has the EP3, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, he did put a 6-speed in with it. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
EP3 trannies
good
are
choice.
really short.
Wouldn't that be the what's that guy's name?
The cheapest one is the K-tuned. High-tech makes probably one of
high tech.
the best ones,
Make one for
but a bunch of people copy it.
K24 and the EP3 specifically?
Oh.
Because I thought,
Oh, that what you want for his EP3?
yeah, he has an EP3, so I assume he's.
I think
K24
Skunk makes one that's got pretty good dimensions, and I think that
Do you have a good fab shop around you that can just kind of extend the? Don't you just need the runners extended a little bit and the angle changed a little bit on a good quality header to make it fit with the K24 and the EP3?
oh, does he want best fit or best header?
Best header.
He said best header.
So would you
Yeah.
just buy the best K20 EP3 header
Yeah.
and then just get extended and the angle changed a little bit by a reputable fab shop? So that way it fit with the K24.
Not really. I mean, the K24, you just stiffen up the rear mount and deal with it.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't run a front sway bar, or well, you don't. No, most people don't care about front sway bar,
Yeah.
but I thought there were clearance issues with that.
The big tube headers is probably a problem with that.
Yeah, so you might have a fab shop.
But it's
that
just-
has to deal with
yeah.
something.
But that's an expensive proposition.
When you
You know,
say
I'm not
that-
really sure who makes this. Basically, you're talking about an RSX header.
Yeah.
Who makes the best RSX header?
Which is
So,
probably like a high tech or something.
Well,
I don't even think don't buy it from high tech. It'll take you forever to get it.
Yeah.
John, you need to be faster.
somebody says Myers is a
Yeah, Myers does some drag stuff.
oh.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure the Myers stuff is high dollar and allows you to take full advantage of a revenue 10 grand. So I'd be curious to see what the it looks like on some of the lower horsepower builds. There's a certain types of designs are going to give you a broader power band, and the broader power band maybe what you're interested in. You do have a K24 after all.
Yeah.
You're also not revving it as high because you do have a K24 after all. So some of the really big race headers may not be the best choice for you. But I believe Skunk makes one that makes pretty good horsepower. DC Sports, you have to look in to see what they have. PLM is, I don't like using them because they rip off other people's intellectual property. So I never recommend them. So I don't have any, opinion other than I wouldn't use them because of their business ethics. But anyway, but that's up to you. That's my decision. So, but yeah, any of the big headers are going to be pricey at $1,200 to $1,500. They just are. Trying to think of him. Gosh darn it. Why can't I ever think of this guy's name? There's a custom header builder that does really nice stuff as well. But again, it's probably going to be $800 or $900. So Skunk's best bang for your buck. Yeah, I think the Skunk stuff's pretty nice. It's actually manufactured in Taiwan, but it's still really nice quality stuff. The Taiwanese do a really good job with their welding and with their, following the, instructions, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Head studs for stock B16. Don't bother. I mean, you could if you're gonna like boost it in the future. If you got
That's not
you know designs on
that's not stock.
design boosting it in the future.
Yeah.
But then again, you may not want those stock pistons in there if you're gonna boost it. So yeah. So yeah, head studs. You can just use the Honda ones. So anyway, I'm gonna go grab another beverage. Be right back.
Okay, fine.
You'll be able to see me as I walk.
Oh, it's been
Where's Josh? We haven't seen Josh.
no, but we have had Clayton here, which is awesome.
Yeah,
See
Clayton.
Clayton very often. Great having you stop by. Beverage time.
Beverage time.
Ah, see, that's why I got a tall boy. I'll have to get back up.
Liquid death. What is that?
It's just soda water.
Oh,
Just seltzer water. This one is called Mountain Don't. It tastes like a very I wouldn't call it big because the flavors are quite good, but it tastes like Mountain Dew without being over the top.
But it's like watered down Mountain
Yeah,
Dew. I mean, that's the thing about liquid death.
only
It
got
tastes like a
20
tastes like a
calories.
watered down
20
soda.
calories?
Yeah, carbonated water, agave nectar, citric acid, natural flavors,
Oh, really?
stevia leaf extract. That's all that's in it.
And before you think I'm complaining about it tasting like a watered down soda, one of my favorite soda drinks is you get a big giant drink like that,
Yeah.
and half the ice melts in it.
Yeah.
And then you drink in watered down soda, and I actually prefer that taste to just like Coke from a can to me is like ridiculously
too
overpowered.
strong.
It's too strong.
Oh.
Pepsi is a joke.
Ugh.
Dr. Pepper's too strong. But the liquid death tastes like 50% water, 50% whatever the soda is.
Yeah, I've been seeing the ads for it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was an energy
They're-
drink.
Well, the liquid death thing is actually refers to them killing all plastic. They don't want to. They don't want people buying plastic bottled water.
Who?
Liquid death.
Liquid
They
death.
can't
That's
alter-
their
they can't
thing
alter
is
stuff
they,
'cause
they
it's
can,
like-
everything's
Oh.
canned. None of it is in
Don't they
plastic.
just have BPA plastic? Isn't there like a plastic liner inside the can anyways?
There's that's what I remember reading about.
There
I
is.
remember yeah.
It's for sanitary purposes. I'm not sure if
But it-
all of them have it, but I know
Yeah.
that some.
But
of them
it's
have it.
not a
But it's not the same as an actual
Yeah.
plastic bottle.
right.
Yeah. But it's tasty. We like it. We drink way too much of it around here.
I'll-
We also have teas, regular canned water and regular just soda water.
Okay.
That's right.
I'll have to try it.
Although-
see.
If I'm going for straight soda water, it has to come in a glass bottle. If it's just straight club soda,
Yeah.
it has to be glass bottle. Or else it,
Like Perrier or
like
like a
Topo
club soda.
Chico,
Like Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
like Topo Chico. Or
Oh, Topo. Yeah.
Topo. Is it Topo Chico? The Spanish one,
I don't know.
but
Yes, I believe it is.
Or like the old Canada Dry in the glass bottles.
Oh yeah.
Because the glass, because if it's in a can in club soda, I taste the can. If it's in plastic, I taste the plastic.
Oh yeah.
But if it's in glass, I taste just the fizz.
Right. That makes sense.
But
Hmm.
feels like Friday watching
So-
us.
It feels like Friday.
I wish it was a Friday. I'm tired like it's a Friday already.
So let me tell you some of the things that are going on with me. Basically, the other day is let me tell you this.
I had an original liquid.
This is a
It's a ratchet.
Matco
Matco.
uh, quarter-inch drive, mini quarter-inch drive. I'm going to
It's got
show
a-
everybody.
It's got a
It's got a wrench built into it.
wrench built in.
It's got a bottle opener built into it,
Bottle
and it's a ratchet.
and it's a quarter inch. Oh, it's pretty cool.
I always thought it was weird that people gave out bottle openers that were keychains.
Why?
So it's pretty cool.
That's just kind of drinking and driving. Then
I got it from Tommy Fitzgibbons in.
I just find that weird.
I got it.
I don't know. I mean, I had these made 20 years ago.
I got it from Tommy Fitzgibbons in California when we were there last time. It was hanging on his wall inside his super cool clubhouse
you-
slash
You took
bar slash.
You-
No, I said that's really cool, and he goes, "Here, you can have it."
Okay.
And I'm like,
You're
They
kidding
broke out.
me.
They broke out the photo albums
Oh no.
of the
all-
'90s
of
Honda.
the '90s Honda stuff. It was
They
crazy.
had just these giant photo albums and boxes of photos. From
Really?
The 90s.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was
Him-
pretty cool.
Miles Batista and Charles Madrid were all going through the photo album boxes.
Oh, jeez.
Talking about everybody and
Yeah.
Sharing stories from
the shows and the races and all that stuff from back.
Right,
then.
right.
Pretty crazy.
Where's Dr. Charles now?
He works for Skunk.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of. I mean, I never met any of those guys, but I, like a lot of people, read about them and stuff.
Oh yeah. They're hilarious.
R.J. DeVera.
Yeah.
Is another one.
Yeah, he works for. I forget who he worked for. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the wheel companies, or maybe one of the car detail companies. So
Okay. I just remember reading about them.
yeah, I bump into them occasionally.
in the magazines
yeah.
and stuff, and watching them do their thing and everything. I never met any of them, but it was just kind of fun reading about them and then wondering what happened to them now. Like the other day, you were talking about Bergenholtz.
Yeah,
The
Ron Bergenholz, the two brothers.
The
Yeah,
brother. One of them was like you said, he's an IT director somewhere.
yeah.
Or somewhere, which is it's just interesting to see how people have evolved over the years.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So
yeah,
of course I never would have imagined myself
doing this.
this. I'm a trained scientist, in charge of the toxicology department for the state health department. Here I am 20 years later
making brakes for
Hondas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
What about me?
well, yeah, you
I used to be the head tennis pro.
head tennis pro. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
The K20, K23 build, did you guys replace pistons? No. The valves on the K23 are huge and they look like they're going to collide. They do not. It doesn't have a lot of lift, so it just doesn't collide at all.
Oh, you know what I've been noticing? And somebody told me this the other day. Somebody just posted a thing there about he picked up an all-wheel drive CRV manual tranny for free.
Nice.
Somebody told me the other day, I was talking to somebody. Oh, it was last week you had some visitors.
Uh-huh.
I was working on the Fit. They're from Canada.
Yeah.
one of the ones, yeah.
Yeah, they came in and we were talking about the Fit and why we picked the GD originally. And I was like, because there's a bunch of them, and
Yeah, they're cheap.
They were telling me, it says you can't buy a decent Fit anymore for less than buku bucks.
Except here in this state, you can.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So yesterday I'm looking through Facebook Marketplace, and there's like a whole bunch of them for like $4,000 or $5,000 or something. A lot of them are automatics, but who cares? I mean,
The interesting, up there, of course, you have rust.
right.
So if it was,
yes.
garage kept and not really driven around in the wintertime, it's going to be in nice shape.
Right.
So that's one of the things that drives that. So it's so funny talking to Pete at, Speed Academy.
Yeah.
I was telling him, DC2 subframe with rack, that way you can keep your power steering. Our mount kit for the RD1 moves the engine back significantly, a lot better on the axle angle. You can lift the engine up more, so better ground clearance. And he's like, we can't find those in Canada.
So wait.
So then I went online to look at all the salvage yards in Canada.
Yeah.
I found 3.
Yeah.
And there was one kind of East Coast, and then the other 2 were West Coast. So super rare stuff.
Oh.
So I mean, here I should
Yeah.
legitimately be pulling every single one out of every car.
I was just gonna say.
And actually, the EG one is the EG automatic. I'm sorry, the EG subframe with power steering is exactly the same as the DC2. So it's the same subframe.
I mean, honestly,
EG with power steering.
Yeah, any 92 to 95 Civic with power steering, that subframe is the same as an
Because
Integra.
they were automatics.
Yeah.
They were
they got power steering.
DX automatic. The DX EG automatic
Right.
came with power steering.
Right. So, so point being though, you can buy the racks brand new from Detroit Axle.
Okay.
So the thing to do might be to start gathering those racks. And technically, you don't have to have the EG lower control arms. You can use the EK lower control arms with just a few modifications to that rack. So
EK lower control arms.
yeah.
EK lower control arms are stamped.
All right.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But the geometry is the same.
Geometry is all the geometry is the same. Yeah, because I remember on my EK.
But not all of them are stamped.
No. Well, the only
Yeah.
ones that I remember were stamped were the SIs. The regular ones were not stamped.
Right. Yep.
So I remember when I had my EK
Yeah.
hatch.
The
and
back. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
back
remember-
half of it stamped. The front half's a control arm.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cast piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Anyway, I'm sitting here going, do I need to start collecting all those and grabbing them
I mean,
as they come? You know, and
how much time have you got? You know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it's not him; it's sending someone.
oh,
Yeah, like so you look on.
Yes, although he has a bad habit of I'm just gonna do it myself. He needs to remember he has employees. He'd be like, "Hey, you go walk around a junkyard, grab every EGDC subframe you find, bring it back here."
There you go.
You know,
Yeah, I feel like I feel like
You have enough room for that.
I do. I mean those because they're like on eBay, they're $350, $275.
Really?
I'm like, yeah,
we should just be building a pile of them outside our shop.
was
we
gonna
should be building
say,
a pile of them.
right.
I was up there. I was looking for a rack coupler today, so I was up on top of the
Storage unit.
storage units.
Yeah.
And I found a EG manual rack and subframe, and I found a right-hand drive
Out of sight, out of
DC2, and yeah. So,
A whole car.
huh? No, not a whole car. I
Well,
wish.
car up there.
But anyway, I'm just like going, crap. Maybe we should be collecting them.
Well, they're getting that's the EGs. The
Yeah.
EGs you're talking
Mm,
about?
yeah.
Well, those things are getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah, but they still come in regularly enough, and almost all of them are automatics now.
And almost all of them, nobody's pulling the subframe out of.
Oh, because they're
Yeah.
automatics.
I bet most of them are going to the crusher with the subframe out.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet they are.
I'm sure they are
Yeah.
too.
Because
And it would probably not take me the way they
you'll
put those
probably
things
not
up.
Take one of your employees.
I could probably, if I did certain things like cut the tie rods on the rack and stuff like that, I could probably get that sucker out of there
15 minutes
in 15 minutes. Yeah, I really could.
with the engine in it.
Oh yeah, because it's just one bolt or the one bolt, through the mount, then 4 bolts for the subframe, then the rack's not attached to it. The control arms, actually, I can unbolt the control arms, slide them out, and just fling them out of the way and just drop the rack. So
Oh, you dropped the subframe. You mean?
subframe arm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't. I don't care about the rack because it's going to be for automatic anyway. So you might as well. I guess I do have to unbolt the rack, but still, I can do that after I get it up. So
After
Yeah.
you get the rack's bolted to the subframe.
Exactly. I'll take that off.
Just-
So I'll just take the subframe. I bet you they would be $50,
I don't think they.
and I bet I could sell them.
Be that much.
And I bet I could sell them for $200, and people would be getting a smoking deal.
I bet
Oh,
you can send them out to be completely refinished so they look brand new. And
Oh, we could have them powder
and,
coated.
and sell them for the same price used ones go for on eBay.
well, yeah, because the guys at Resto Tuner are doing that now.
Oh
The
wow,
Resto Tuner.
smart.
I saw a thing from them the other day.
Remanufacturing or
They're refurbishing
Okay,
the subframes and stuff.
nice.
I saw that the other day. Oh,
Blake
and
may need a right-hand drive EG subframe or rack.
Yes.
he
I
just,
got you, man.
the Resto Tuner guys also somehow, I don't know, they didn't say where, somehow got a hold of a boatload of NOS, new old stock Honda parts they said it was one of the oldest Honda dealerships in the United States. He didn't say where it was, but they got a hold of a whole bunch of stuff. They had like armrests from '89 Preludes and in the box, all sorts of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see when they start putting all that stuff out.
Speaking of that, Josh
Oh, that's
bought
right. Josh got.
boxes and boxes of EF parts.
Did he?
CRF parts.
NOS.
Have you seen
Huh?
it? Have you seen it?
I haven't been over there yet.
I thought you guys went over to film it.
Well,
I was
yeah,
going to.
He was
but
going to.
it's,
Didn't,
They inventoried it all. Go to crxonly.com if you need parts for your
see what he
CRX.
did
See what you have. Yeah, they're starting to put it all up.
Nicole posted all up.
They're working on it,
Del Sols also. Those are C-Rex.
No, he doesn't do. No,
and he doesn't do first gen CRXs either.
no.
Those are
Those are
CRXs.
very C-Rex.
Just EF CRX.
No, they're not the strut. You hate them.
You hate them.
Well,
Yeah,
they
No,
don't
you
handle like news truck cars.
they have torsion
Yeah.
bars.
They're a torsion bar at least.
Yeah.
Tail the Wagon says hello to all three of us.
Oh,
Hello, how are you, Jay?
Good to see you.
oh, we missed a bunch of questions.
And,
All right, let's go back up.
I know last
somebody
time-
said if you were to get an
Passport
HCV
Junkyard
swap,
just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said if you were to do an HTV swap, I think the answer is we wouldn't do an HTV swap.
If I were to do an HTV swap, would you use a plateless setup or plated setup? Good question. You know, it would be interesting. I actually have a couple of H22s. I've thought about it. In fact, I even have the special oil pan that was made for that H2B. So yeah. I mean, there's so many things I would like to do, but time is limited.
Yeah.
And my dog needs to go for a walk.
The dog needs to go for a walk.
So I can't spend all my time
Well, yeah.
working on cars.
Somebody's asking about
What?
a new loud clicking sound. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I saw
New to them, 06 J35 has a mystery tick loudest and water pump crossover tube. They're saying.
Wait. Loud. Oh, at water.
Underneath
crossover.
that's underneath the heads or underneath the intake manifold.
The water crossover tube?
Is it a variable cylinder management engine?
06 J35.
What?
06 J35. I think that's before the cylinder management.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Have you done a valve adjustment?
06
There is no valve.
J35 would be
On J35?
No,
like
there's no valve adjustment on J35.
like an Odyssey or something.
Yeah, there's no valve adjustment on J35s that I'm aware of.
How would you not?
Honda engine.
Is that a set thing?
It's they're hydraulic.
Oh, you're right. Honestly, I've never looked at one. I've never owned one for long enough
Oh, yeah. Okay.
to.
Yeah, I think
I guess when's the last time you? I don't know. I don't know what
they're hydraulic.
they are.
I
I don't know.
yeah. Well,
I've
they're
never looked at one.
they're single overhead.
Hey, guy.
They're single overhead cam
Yeah.
heads, and
Oh,
so
yeah,
they have
fair
a VTEC, but they've got the lost motion thing.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah, there's no adjusting.
Wait. Yes, 06 Ridgeline did valve adjustment. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Somebody's saying VCM. You owned a J. I did not own a J for long enough.
Well, my J was earlier though. I had a J30.
Oh.
It's the same basic engine, but
What year did you say it was?
06.
06.
See, there's the MDX.
Which is
because my J. Well,
There's Odysseys, a lot of Odysseys.
the Odyssey.
And there was a VCM.
Yeah,
There was like the EXL Touring had a VCM.
the J35s in the Odysseys had an issue. There was a big thing about them. There was a class action lawsuit about them. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, something about them. Might want to look into that because this might tell you some more.
Yeah, it's a VCM engine.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what would be causing that. Yeah, the Pilot had it. The Odyssey had it.
And the MDX.
The Accord had it. 08. Oh, 08. Wait, here's a 7?
06.
06. So, yeah. So that did not happen.
Yeah, the 08 Accords had the J35.
The 08 Accords did, but not the...
Oh,
except for the Coupe. The Coupe did not. The Coupe Sport. The Coupe manual.
Oh, here's an interesting.
Coupe manual had what?
No VCM.
Didn't have the VCM,
No.
right. It was a 6-speed.
Yeah.
No
6-speed,
VCM.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to tell you, the Accord Cross Tour
Yep.
and the ZDX,
Yep.
they're not the same car. They are
Totally different.
I always thought they were the same chassis, all of that stuff.
They were based on the same...
No, they're not.
Okay. The ZDX and Cross 2 are really not the same.
No, I thought they were.
Isn't the ZDX a much later model anyway?
It was about the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the ZDX is based on the MDX.
Yeah, right.
Which I didn't.
Yeah,
I
because
just
it's got
thought,
that J37 engine.
Yeah.
Although it's got a much bigger throttle body and stuff.
Yeah, it was based on the MDX. Uh-oh, what happened?
I got it.
Uh-oh.
He moving stuff
The
around.
reason I know this is because I got a call to make a brake kit for him. Had to look all this stuff up. So luckily I have the MDX suspension, all that stuff. This is all the same.
Someone has a K28 Euro R an RSX 6-speed trans. Is there a chassis I can put this swap into and be California legal?
Oh, not with the JDM.
TSX and the well, yeah, you can.
Oh,
The problem is the K20.
K28. Yeah.
Yeah.
K20A. Oh, wasn't that the same as the?
I mean,
the-
California legal, it would the ECU would go a long way towards making that illegal. What would it be?
Talk
Like a
to
seventh,
California shops,
like
they
a
probably know.
seventh gen Civic. You could probably make it legal on that. Yeah, I don't see a reason you couldn't make it legal on that.
Like an 8th gen SI. Just toss it in.
Yeah,
and run it.
8th gen SI. You'd have to change the shift mechanism on top of the transmission. Use the stock cable shifter. So if you could do that, you could put in an 8th gen regular Civic, just do a K swap setup and that.
True. Oh.
Rear subframe and the wagon between the front wheel drive and all wheel drive. I'm assuming you're talking about the 88 to 91 wagon subframe. Yeah, but if you find the construction is basically the same, just maybe missing some bolt holes and stuff like that. But that subframe is what holds the rear diff. So if you find a rear diff, you might look for the subframe that goes with it.
Yep.
Somebody has a question about the V6.
TL Accord,
Yeah,
2005-10,
Yeah,
hitch
it's actually-
transmissions,
it's actually-
garbage.
it's actually earlier than that. It's 03. I know because I had
Talking
that-
about the
the
automatics?
automatic. the
Yes,
five-
they're garbage.
The 5-speed automatic. Yeah, they unfortunately
kinda bad.
They had a problem.
Third gear pack or something.
mean,
It was well. I'm not
Second
sure.
gear.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
On my 03 Accord, I bought it new, V6.
They
at
put a
about-
bigger oil cooler in them, and you
well,
had to.
well, I put the I put the TL or whatever oil cooler on it to try to keep it cool. That kept it going for a while, but then I took it in for the recall, and they have basically this second gear, third gear wasn't getting oil on it properly.
So
So they put this jet pack on it. They put this little thingy that squirted oil onto the top of that gear. That was the temporary fix. And then later down the road, then it finally just quit altogether. And
I mean, I don't know if what I heard is true, but this is what I heard.
yeah,
I heard the clutch packs were poor, and they would shed material, and that material would then go in and clog
yeah,
oil ports.
a part of it. But
That's what I heard.
but
And then the other thing I heard was the way to make them last was number one, the oil cooler, and number two, you would do service more often, change the
yes.
fluid much more often,
yeah, that
and then you could make it last a while.
typically that would be that's
Yeah.
what they said. But by that time, again, I bought
Right. Nobody, everybody's
did it.
doing normal maintenance
Yeah.
up to the point where it fails, and now you're like,
Yeah, because Honda at that time said to do the tranny fluid change like at 90,000 miles,
yeah,
which was like twice as long as it should have been.
Yeah.
So I had to have because I remember taking it in. They looked at it. They actually have a bore scope. There's at the very top of the tranny there was a plug, and they took the bore scope in and they took pictures of the gear that they was visible, and there was a tech at Honda corporate. All he did was look at these pictures that the dealerships would send him in real time, and they would say, okay, yes, that looks good or that looks bad. Put the jet kit on or replace the tranny.
I have no idea who that is for a fact, but I seem to recall talking to Rich Hayes about that,
Oh,
and somebody saying that he had something to do with that. I don't know if that was his job or if
okay.
that was his department.
Yeah,
or what it
because
was.
I remember when I was talking to the service manager, I said, okay, what do they do? And he told me exactly, this is what they do.
Yeah.
They have a camera. Honda sent every dealership a special camera that they mounted on the thing. So it was
crazy.
anyway,
Yeah.
it was, the transmissions, they need to have the fluid changed and the filter changed every 40,000 miles, and then you wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
So
See, somebody asked here, they saw the Hotsport supercharged EP3 being driven.
Oh yeah, back in the
best motoring video.
best motoring.
American Toge. What happened? He said the Japanese guy's name, which I cannot pronounce. So I'm not going to attempt.
Sushia.
Yeah.
Um,
What happened to the car? Was that the yellow
We
one?
sold it. Yeah.
The yellow one.
Yeah.
what happens?
We wound up selling it to somebody. We took the supercharger off and sold it. In fact, we still have the supercharger.
Yeah, I think that was the one on my car for a
Yeah,
while.
but we sold the car. We actually put some of the. I still have some of the Type R body parts painted in yellow.
Hmm.
That car was originally black.
Oh, that's right.
So let me give you a little background on that car. In 2002, we heard they were coming out with a. They heard they were coming out with the EP3. So because they came out mid-year, I believe, and at the time I had been talking to Dave Coleman, who was one of the editors at Sport Compact Car, and I said to Dave, I said, we're going to get the new EP3 of the 2003 SI. I think that's what they called it, although it was 2002. We're going to get the new 2003 SI, and we're going to put a Type R motor in it because we had one. We bought a Type R motor.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a Type R motor in it. What do you think? And they're like, oh, if you do that, we'll put it on the cover. So we're like, awesome.
Oh.
So first one came in the state, went and bought. It was black.
Yeah.
So I call up Dave. Dave's like,
Can't use.
what color did you get? And he goes, black. He goes, oh, we can't put that on the cover.
On the cover.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. I said, well, we'll repaint it. He's like, what? I said, well, we'll repaint it. Really? I said, yeah. What color do you want it? We sell the most magazines of yellow. I'm like, okay. So we went and talked to.
So that's why you got it painted yellow?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that story.
So we bought it from Honda Cars of Mesa. Bud Thurston. I don't know if you know Bud Thurston. He
Didn't
owned
know
it at
him,
the
but
time.
That's where I bought my Civic.
Yeah, yeah. He bought it. He was the owner at the time, and he was a Corvette racer, and Keith knew him.
Yeah.
And then there was a Jim Tamasia was the head of the body shop. So we went over and talked to them about doing a full color body change, which they did.
Yeah.
So they painted it yellow for free.
Oh.
And then we ordered some Type R body parts out of England, put them on the car, put the Type R motor in it, and sent it to Sport Compact Car.
Okay.
And the thing was freaking awesome. And then we decided that we wanted bigger displacement.
Oh.
So we bought a TSX bottom end.
Oh.
We put it on the
Type R head
maybe
on
a CRV bottom
And
end.
what year was this all? This was all 2003.
2003.
Yeah.
So we put a TSX bottom end on it, had it tuned, and then we were talking to Oscar Jackson, and Oscar Jackson's like, "Oh yeah, we should supercharge that." So Oscar gave us a supercharger. We put that on,
Right.
and then there was a magazine shootout called the Super 4 Challenge, which was run by Car and Driver. So we put the car in the Super 4 Challenge. So they drove that.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we had built a 2001 Civic with a K swap, and it was turbocharged with one of the Miles Batista's first K series turbo
So
kits.
that was the black and
Blue car.
black and blue car.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
black back then.
Yeah.
So we did that as well. Then I got a call from Taro Koki, who is the guy that did the best motoring stuff, and he invited us out to bring our car out there. So we brought the car to the event, and we were by far the least powered and least not
Yeah.
least powered, but we were like knife to a gunfight kind of thing because there was an NSX there
Yeah.
and a bunch
right,
of other cars.
Right.
So-
Right.
But that was a blast. So we did that one, and the next year, I think I brought my CRX with the J in it. No, with the supercharged K24.
Yeah.
It was the next year. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The
And they
yellow.
couldn't drive it.
And they couldn't get because Sushia. I had the seat set up for me,
Yeah.
and Sushia's got short legs, and he wasn't able to reach anything, so he didn't drive it that year.
Right.
It's funny
that
that
was fun.
but they were both complaining about that car being kind of undrivable, weren't they?
It was way too powerful.
But it's funny because people like the other pro drivers that we had in it did not have the
Oh,
same.
they loved it because it was so freaking monstrous. No, don't get me wrong. That track is very tight and everything.
Yeah,
If
Horsey
you had
was
long,
not the track
right,
to
right.
do
If
that.
you have long straights, that car was
Had they-
amazing.
Had they done that at Big Willow,
Was it?
The car would run an 11.9 and 11.8 in the quarter
It
mile.
was the streets of Willow. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
no, it was at Horse Thief Mile.
The
Oh.
shootout was at Horse Thief, which is a super tight, you know.
They only use it for drifting.
They
now.
use it for drifting now.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that one is.
Yeah.
It's the track
It's up
above
on a hill
James Willow.
above it.
okay.
Yeah.
So
It's a little tight track. So anyway, so we,
I remember being a little kid at that event,
yeah.
running around the pits, watching it all.
Yeah.
too funny.
Well, we did, but yeah, but that was crazy. That was a lot of fun.
So
Yeah.
back to the questions up here. Somebody asked me about the gauge cluster for the fit.
Yeah.
So one of the things about the fit, the GD fit, is the language that the cluster requires
Is unique
is
to
unique
that car.
to that car. It doesn't. It's not the same. And so the VS, it has a CSS or a, what it
It has a VSS, the slow
VSS.
pulsing VSS.
but the L15B7 is a CSS.
Right. So,
So
both
we have
those
we have
100
to try
times
to
fast.
get it to talk to the dash, which they think they can do. JDI guys think
Yeah.
they can make it do that, but if they can't, I found a dash from an EM2 manual transmission car that we should be able to
Yeah.
get it to talk to the to talk better. So, and it actually fits in the dash of the car. So, luckily I got one of those. So that's the backup. If we can't get JDI, if JDI guys can't get the with their converter to get it to talk to each other. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I kind of don't want to have to spend $1,000 on an AIM 9X or something, dash system if I can help it. But hopefully that'll work. And the dash, the EM2 dash looks fine in there too. I have to build a cowling for it, so no glare on it. But it fits in there just like the fit cluster fits. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. So, Juggalotus, is that what it is?
Lotus.
Yeah, I would think Juggalicious would be. But anyway, Juggalotus says,
Oh,
I got a K24A2 to swap into my 08 SI. I need to know, and I need the Type S oil RSX pump. You should be able to buy that still.
yeah.
Is there a reputable place to buy the pump? Honda. That's who I'd buy from.
Oh, yeah.
And modded baffles. If you have the Type S oil pump, you don't need the modded baffles. So, and when we say Type S, you're talking about the RSX Type S. So that does not require the modified baffles because it's not a countershaft oil pump.
Oh.
So just let you know. All right.
So
All right.
4 piston. So it's
Wondering if a water pump can make a ticking noise somehow. I suppose it could.
it could, but I have a feeling that we're talking about
Could be
that
the bearing in the
we're
water
talking
pump.
about that J35 still.
Yeah.
Could
Could be the bearing in it.
Well,
That'd be the only thing that I would think could make a ticking noise.
well, there was something with that engine.
The VCM engine
Yes,
had
there
a
was
problem.
something about that engine that there was a big, huge
Yeah, the backside would.
class action.
The backside had problems.
something that
Yeah.
So that may be what this is involved. So I would look
Yeah,
into
if it's
that.
the VCM engine, it could be the VCM, and I would just take it to the dealership and have them just take a look at it and see if they can tell you what the problem is. Yeah, is a 2010 Acura TL the only all-wheel drive V6 with a 6-speed? It is the only all-wheel drive V6 with a 6-speed. Yes.
Well, we never got that, did we?
Yeah, it was a super handling all-wheel drive TL.
It was all-wheel drive.
Yep. They have both automatic and manual.
Oh,
That was available in the 6-speed manual.
oh,
I have one of those transmissions. Ultra rare.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
All right.
I've never dealt with those much.
Yeah.
They didn't make a lot of them. Okay.
Hey, Brian. Gavin with the CB7. Nice track project. Just want to say thank you so much for helping in getting my big
Oh,
brakes.
yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Gavin. Yeah, I got your stuff. It's in the process. I think I got all the parts ordered. Hopefully it'll come together next week.
Yeah. I want to put a K20C1 FK5 in my 2002 Accord EX. The main okay, so
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
here's the problem. It's a very tall engine.
Yeah.
So I am not sure how well that's going to fit in there.
Yeah, the hood on those cars slopes
It does, but the engine leans backwards, luckily.
somewhat. Yeah.
But the problem is it's just a tall engine. So I don't know. how that's going to fit in there. I imagine it's going to fit much better in the 2003 because it's much taller, but you don't have a 2003.
Yeah.
And you probably don't like the look of a 2003 if you like the 2002.
The twos are more squarey looking.
Well, the 2 looks
NSX
more like the
inspired
classic
or
Accord of the
Yeah, right.
of the
The
90s.
03 like mine. It was
Yeah,
all sort of
exactly.
getting roundy.
It's
and-
got the touring car look
yeah,
too.
right. So that
Yeah.
the 02 may actually have more room under the hood.
Oh, it will, but not as much as your car.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But measure how much room there's above the current valve cover in there, because that car did come with a J. So
the J-
although it's a different front end,
Yeah.
but still it may have more room, so it may not be horrible. So that's the big thing.
Here's a good question. R18 to K swap, O2 sensor.
For the front O2 sensor, the air fuel sensor, I use the air fuel sensor from the 06 to 12 or 06 to 11 SI. I just went to a salvage yard and bought one. It was $30. On the rear one, I just use a stock R18 one. All right. What'd you learn to drive a manual on?
Me? You really want to know?
Yeah, sure.
1949 GMC truck.
Nice.
Yeah. Talk about free play.
Oh yeah. Like a stick in a bucket.
Oh my God. Like a stick in a bucket of sand.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not kidding. The lever was, this high, and first was granny. First was a granny gear.
Granny gear.
It was a 4
So
speed.
why bother?
First was a granny gear.
Well, if you could install it, that'd be good.
What's that?
You wouldn't be able to stall
you
it. That'd be
couldn't-
good.
Yeah, you couldn't stall the thing.
You could probably that's granny gear. No lie. If the idle was low enough, you could just push it into gear and it'd take off.
Well, not just that, but this thing had a manual throttle. I don't
Choke.
No, not choke. It had a choke, but it also had a manual throttle thing you could pull to get the
Get the RPM up.
The RPM up. So you'd pull that thing out a bit, and just let off the gas, and just it would just go by itself. It was wild. So anyway, that's what
He
I
didn't have electricity
that-
in his house back then. He also went to the bathroom.
That's what I learned to drive
Yeah.
on first.
Yeah.
And then that was the first manual transmission.
Yeah.
Then the second one would have been a VW Beetle. My cousin had one.
What about you? Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
First car I ever drove stick in was an S2000.
Really?
Parking lot. Yeah, when I was still learning how to drive like in a parking lot.
An S2000.
S2000.
I was driving a S2000 at the
Yeah,
time.
he was driving a silver S2000 at the time.
When was that? I don't remember you ever having.
He'd have been 15 or 16.
I was 15. which
15
would have
years
been-
and 8 months old.
I don't remember you.
So how old are you now? 30.
Which would have been 2008, 2007.
I don't remember you having one of those.
It was a short period of time.
Okay. Anyway, so
And
S2000.
then after that, the second car that I actually learned how to drive stick on the street in was a J32 swap DK.
That red EK that he
That
drives
I
now,
have my
it
red
had a
EK I have
J32 in it, couldn't freaking stall
No,
it.
it was amazing. You could
Yeah.
stick it in third gear and take off, and it
Yeah.
would just go.
Yeah.
And that made him fall in love with manual because he was like, "Oh, this is easy." And I'm like, "Of course it
And
is."
then and then after that, I would drive the K swapped ES whatever
Yeah,
the black and blue.
car.
the black and blue car, and I dailied that for like a year.
Yeah.
That was great. And then I went, and then here's the best part though is I got downgraded back to my '93 Integra with an LS,
Right.
with an LS in the manual. So I went from J to K to B.
The B.
And I
Yeah.
was like, this is really going backwards.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just
Wait, I didn't tell you what I learned to drive on.
okay.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead, finish yours.
So I learned how to manual on
Okay.
this 49 GMC pickup, which was no longer looked like a 49 GMC pickup. It had been cut up. Whatever. My dad, we called it the sand buggy, but it
It had like no
because
fenders and shit.
it had nothing on it. It was it had
Frame.
no frame. It had an engine, the old 235 6-cylinder GMC engine with this whatever you want
With
to
this
call it.
with this oar.
The wheelbase was about 70 inches or something, you know, and it had a torque tube, you know. They had a torque tube. It didn't have like a regular drive shaft.
And it's okay.
To the rear end. Anyway, it was all like 1 by rectangular stuff built on it. It was weird. Anyway, that was the first thing. But then my parents had a 66 Ford F100 pickup truck, 3 on the tree.
Oh yeah.
3 on the tree. That was so.
The first time I drove something with a 3 on the tree was the weirdest thing.
Yes, it's the weirdest thing. Yeah, so, you start out here in the low, flow is down here, second, third, because they were 3-speed, and reverse was, straight up from the thing. But 3 on the tree. Yeah.
We growing up, we had tons of cars. My dad used to race Hare and Hound and autocross and everything way back in the 50s. So we had just a ton of cars. So
MG,
oh yeah,
MGs or anything like that.
oh yeah, an MGTD.
Okay.
And at the same time a 190 SL, I think, or a 190
SL, not 190 SL.
Yeah, whatever the convertible coupe was.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
SL.
So
that big 6?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
1.9 liter. So it sounds to me like it might have been a 6, but it's probably a 4.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what. And then it's like there's pictures of me and my mom's arms in that car.
Yeah.
And or pictures of her pregnant with me and them holding trophies from racing.
Yeah.
So
right.
So I'm lucky I was born because there's only lap belts back then.
It was an inline.
And I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I don't know what car I learned to drive in, but I was driving motorcycles at like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
So, and shifting those. So I think the first time I got in a
that's your foot though.
I know that, but the first time I got in a car, I understood the concept. So I don't think I had any issues.
Any issues.
I think I recall driving 3 on the tree, 4-speed.
Many 5
I remember
speeds
driving
back then.
Huh?
There weren't many 5 speeds yet.
No, there weren't. We had a Fiat 850 Spider. We had
Those are funny.
we had I think a manual Blazer, Chevy Blazer.
Oh, okay.
We had a Jaguar XJ6.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah, they were bougie.
a Corvette, a 65 Corvette and a 63 Corvette.
Oh.
So
yeah.
which one was first? I don't know.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah. So,
Because it wasn't a thing for you. You just kind of
it's like
You just
I was like,
off. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, do you want to learn how to drive stick? Sure. Go out, and I knew how to slip a clutch to take off and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I never stalled one that I remember.
yeah. Anyway, that's what happened. This first manual was an 88.5 Ford Escort GT. Nice. That's kind of cool. 45 miles per gallon. That
2000.
back during the.
Somebody else had a 2000 Cavalier, 91 S10.
Mm-hmm.
The boosted Honda said it was a 98 CRV. He's been a Honda guy ever since.
Nice.
Someone else had a Ford Courier and a Datsun 310 Coupe. 86 Accord sedan. Their parents bought it new.
Whoops.
It is 720, by the way.
Yeah. All right. 87 Blazer. 3 on. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I grew up with cars and motorcycls. In fact, I raced bikes for
And you
years.
stuck me in go-karts. That's why I couldn't drive stick right off the bat.
I still crack up to this day. You want a manual? No, I don't want a manual.
At the time, yeah, you're right. I did.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had the race car too at the time. I didn't want daily manual though when I was like 16.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't think about that. That was funny.
Too funny. All right, guys, we're going to call it quits for this evening. It is getting late, and I have a dog to walk. And I need to be up early tomorrow to come back to work to do stuff.
And I have house to move.
Yep. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you very much for joining us again here, VTEC Academy on our live. And by the way, we're going to be offering some new.
Yes.
We're going to be offering some new stuff here coming up, and we got a bunch of cool projects for this year. So
social media.
yeah, so yeah, keep it on social media and like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we'll see you guys